Welcome back, traders, to another installment of Nasdaq100 weekly highs, weekly lows, technical analysis. I hope your trades this week have been going really well, okay? And we're going to pick up from where we left off on the most recent video that we did, which was on Tuesday, okay? Now, if you haven't done so already and you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. Now, with all of that said and done, we're going to get straight into the business of the analysis for today. Now, as I'm sure you guys are aware, especially if you mark these levels out on your chart, that price is indeed in the FVG zone, right? So just move this around, okay? Yep, so price is indeed in the FVG zone, which is the first one, the first bearish FVG derived of the day. So it's in that right now. And if we look at the previous week's high and low, we can clearly see that price has gone to the 50% level, okay? So at this point, looking at market structure as it is right now, okay, looking at market structure as it is right now, okay, we can assume, right, and this is just an assumption, we can assume that based on how price is looking right now, based on what we can see, right, there could be a decent probability, okay, of market flying down from where it is. The channel itself is expanding, so it's getting bigger as it moves along, right? So it's a little bit smaller on this end, and then it starts to get bigger as we move along, right? So we kind of need to factor that in as to what kind of move market could throw our way. But as it stands right now, okay, we are yet to have a close above the 50% level, right? So if I zoom in, and I've marked it out with this blue horizontal level over here. Actually, let me just make that a little bit thicker so it really pops. Let's make that a 3, right? So this level right here is the 50% of the previous week's high and low. That's where we've derived the measurements from. And as we can see at this level right here, if you zoom in, is that we have not had price close above the 50%, all right? So in my opinion, I will be of the mindset that price may want to come down from the level where it's at right now all the way down, at best, say to the top of this trend that I've just drawn, which would be, let me just make it a box so it looks more or less like a region. Okay, so we're just gonna highlight this area, right? This is the zone that I'm talking about. So essentially we're looking at, hopefully I should be able to explain it. So we're looking at, actually, you know what, this is a terrible way of explaining it. Let me use something else. I'll use this instead, right? So what basically I'm doing, let me just make this bigger, is I am targeting the high of this trend up here and the low of this trend up here, and I'm going to get numbers based off that. Now this is not entirely accurate, all right? So you are going to need to do a little bit of work on it, especially if you're trying to determine where price is going to go should they leave this FVG zone, right? Now how you play it is up to you. So first let me call out these numbers and I will explain how I would play it, right? How I would do it. So the top side of this zone, we're looking at 20522.6, and the low side of this zone, we're looking at 20470.5, right? So how I would play this, if I was going to play it, I probably wouldn't until it's left this zone. That's when I feel comfortable to actually place a trade. Is I will position myself down here below the FVG. I'll position myself down here below the FVG, and I'll have my stop up here, right? I have my stop up here, and personally I think this is a bit of a large gap. It's not the largest, but it is kind of large, right? So I will put myself under there. I will cover up here with my stop loss, and I will hope that price will at least come down to this FVG down here, which has not been tapped, before making a decision if it's going to push up or if it's going to come down. That is how I would basically do it, right? Now, with that said, because obviously today is Thursday as well, we have to bear in mind another piece of information that we need to add in. We need to factor in as well. Okay, right? So first things first, it's fair to assume that the low of the week that I thought was going to be on the that I thought was on the Tuesday, has a higher probability of being that day, the Tuesday, because today is Thursday, one more day, right? And the high is where it is touch and go based on where market is. So this is a potential for huge gains depending on what market does. What do I mean by that? So for example, let's say the high is indeed today, right? So the high is today, and that is this level over here. Price is in this channel right now. So it's in this channel that it's in right here, okay? And say price then blasts all the way down. Chances are it's going to take out the weekly low over here. So chances are, okay, actually let me get rid of some of these levels. Let me get rid of this actually. Let's make this a straight vertical line. This is the target area of where we believe price could go, and this could actually be in fact the weekly high. So let me just put that in place. It's not set in stone yet because we don't really know right now, we're just guessing. Let me move this back, and then let's add what could be the new weekly low, but that we don't know yet until Friday. But we can start to make assumptions from now. All right, so as it stands, I'm not going to put any labels on these because we don't know. It's not set in stone yet, so we're not 100%. Right, what we can work off is this weekly low in this area over here, which is 20320.5. This is the one we need to keep an eye on. So say for example, price from where it is right now in the FVG zone, it flies all the way down, goes past this potential zone over here, okay, but it doesn't have to go there, you can go straight past it, and blasts past this weekly low. It's fair to assume it's going to come into this one, right, and maybe stop, and that will be the end of the Friday move, or it could go even lower. That's just the vibe that I'm going off with right now based on what it is that I'm seeing. Okay, now let's see if we can find some additional information that may help us possibly strengthen our overall view in terms of what's happening over here. So we're just going to jump into the news real quick. We're going to select the correct icon. We're looking for Forex. Going to go in there. I think I'm going to have to filter this thing out a bit. We want US and red only. Let's make sure we got the correct dates in. Okay, so tomorrow we've got flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. These are the two news that we got coming out tomorrow at 2:45, or you could say 14:45, okay, GMT. So these are the news we got coming out tomorrow, and the information or the data that is released could have the potential to send market all the way down here. So this is something that I think is worth thinking about, it's worth entertaining, it's worth pondering over, all right, because it could easily happen, and if it does, we want to make sure that we're on the right side of that. So with that said and done, the next thing to do now is to check out the thumbs that you should be seeing right about now. So you've got to be seeing one of them on backtesting, which has 21 videos, useful information, go check them out. And the second is going to be on the previous video to this one. And whilst I leave you to go and check those videos out, I will see you all on the next one.